Welcome to the Otherworld Watch channel, where darkness thrives and the pages of haunted literature crackle to life. Tonight, we journey beyond the veil into tales born of terror and twisted imagination. Prepare yourself for stories that linger long after the last word. Tonight, we open the gates to the most haunted house in all of horror fiction, a place of depravity, madness, and death. This is the story of Hell House, written by Richard Matheson in 1971, a novel so terrifying that Stephen King once called it the scariest haunted house story ever told. Richard Matheson was a legend of 20th century horror and science fiction. The mind behind I Am Legend, The Shrinking Man, and dozens of Twilight Zone episodes, he blurred the lines between the supernatural and science, between the psychological and the paranormal. In Hell House, Matheson crafted a story not of bumps in the night, but of a house that invades your soul and reshapes your very being. As death approaches, the wealthy William Deutsch offers $100,000 to 4 people to answer a single question: is there life after death? To find out, they must spend a week inside the dreaded Belasco House in Maine, better known by its infamous nickname, Hell House. 4 people accept the challenge. Dr. Lionel Barrett, a brilliant physicist, believes he can cleanse the house of its energies using a scientific machine he built himself, called the Reverser. His wife Edith joins him, devoted but silently apprehensive. Florence Tanner, a passionate and idealistic spiritual medium, longs to connect with the dead and offer them peace. And then there's Benjamin Franklin Fisher, a man hollowed by his past, the only living survivor of a previous expedition into the house 30 years ago. He knows what waits inside, and it has never forgotten him. As they arrive at the mansion, a coldness grips them. The doors groan open, as if welcoming them in. But the welcome is a lie. The house awakens. Its walls breathe with a hunger. The temperature drops, but it's not the cold that makes their skin crawl. It's the feeling that something unseen is watching and waiting. Florence is the first to sense it. In the dead of night, she performs a seance. Her fingers tremble over the table as candles flicker, and then a whisper breaks the silence. A name, Daniel? She believes it's the spirit of Daniel Belasco, the tormented son of the original owner. She becomes consumed with the idea of saving him. But the house has always been a liar, and what's speaking to her may not want salvation, only suffering. Edith begins to change. Once rational, she now sees things that cannot be. She feels watched, touched, violated by something that slithers just beyond vision. Her mind unravels. She questions her husband's love, her own sanity, even her memories. The house reaches into her with cold fingers and pulls at her deepest fears. She is no longer sure where she ends, and the house begins. Barrett clings to his science. He sets up the Reverser, a gleaming machine of wires and coils, pulsing with calculated energy. He is determined to prove that hauntings are simply electromagnetic imprints. Residual echoes, not spirits, not evil. But the house is not impressed. It waits, smiling. Florence suffers. She is physically attacked, bruises appear on her body, scratches across her back. She is thrown against walls by invisible hands. One night, she is violated. Her screams echo through the hallways, and no one reaches her in time. Still, she believes Daniel is a lost soul in need. She is wrong. Barrett powers on the Reverser. The machine hums, vibrates, the air thickens. For a moment, the house seems calm, silent, and then it strikes. Barrett is found dead, his body shattered, flung like a broken doll, his machine destroyed, his logic meaningless. The house has won. Florence is next. She dies twisted in agony, her body contorted, her face locked in a scream of betrayal. She never saw the truth, that Daniel never existed, that the house had fooled her with a ghost that wasn't there. Only Fisher remains. The house wants him most of all, but he's done running. He unleashes his psychic power, finally, fully, and breaks through the house's illusions. Deep within the mansion, behind a hidden wall, he finds a secret room sealed in steel. Inside sits a throne, a skeleton, and the truth: Emeric Belasco, the house's owner, was no ghost. He was a sadist, a manipulator, a murderer who ruled over his cult of pleasure and pain with absolute cruelty. When he died, he sealed himself in this chamber to hide the truth and ensure his legend lived on. Even in death, he twisted the house around his will. Fisher turns the reverser toward Belasco's corpse. It hums one last time, focused not on the house, but on the very evil that birthed it. The walls shake, the lights shatter. A scream, inhuman and ancient, rips through the air. And then, silence. Hell House is still, but it will never be clean. It is not just haunted, it is the haunting. A place built not just of stone and wood, but of the darkest parts of the human soul. This was Richard Matheson's Hell House, a novel of possession, illusion, lust, and the long, echoing scream of things that should not be. If you felt a chill tonight, perhaps it was only the wind. Or perhaps something else was listening, just behind you. Thank you for joining me on this journey into one of literature's most iconic Gothic tales. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more literary adventures. Till then, stay curious and stay brave.